Hey there friends, welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm of course Paul Glasgow, the one and only truth pimp, here to deliver you a vulgar display of logic and reason. And today's logic and reason is going to be a relatively short one and somewhat repetitive based on what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. I try to set aside time during the week leading up to the potential passage or voting on Second Amendment related bills or any kind of bill in Congress that's really important. And the reason for that is I don't want to cloud the water. I don't want any of my videos to push legislation that benefits all of us and recognizes or restores our Second Amendment rights. I don't want those videos to get buried. In other words, I don't want to jump the shark. I don't want to put out a really big video right after I put out a video on the Hearing Protection Act and everybody jumps and goes to watch the other one. We don't talk about the Hearing Protection Act or the Short Act. That's one that's being forgotten. I think we're close to the Hearing Protection Act. I think a lot of the noise that you guys made, let's be honest here, you guys are the ones who move the needle. There's only, what, a few dozen of us online who are making videos. We're not moving the needle. You guys are moving the needle. We're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of you beating up that switchboard, and that's what's making a difference. Again, we're not the ones doing it. You guys have hammered them. Now, we've made our own phone calls also, but without you guys, this is a futile effort. It simply doesn't happen, and again, does not move the needle whatsoever. Again, I think Hearing Protection Act, I really do believe we are very, very close for suppressors to be removed as an NFA item. I mean, I think we're really close to that. The problem with Congress is everybody's making deals. The other problem is egos. Now, sometimes we can use that to our advantage, and I'll explain a little bit more on that in a minute, but sometimes it hurts us. These people are mad that we beat them up with phone calls last week. We beat them up for phone calls on the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act, which, if obviously you guys know, Short Act is removing short barrel rifles and short barrel shotguns off the NFA as well. Well, when we school members of Congress, I don't care what political party they are, when we school the members of Congress and we make them do something that they weren't already going to do on their own, they get butthurt about it. They get mad. Well, remember, we're asking for two things, right? Suppressors and short barrel shotguns and short barrel rifles to be taken off NFA. Sometimes they just want to get the last laugh, the final say, and go, okay, we heard you. We'll take suppressors off, but we're not doing it for short barrel rifles or short barrel shotguns. That's just their way to show us who's really in charge. You know what I mean? Now, that's their version of who's really in charge. We know who's really in charge, you guys and us. But that's their way of letting their ego shine through. Instead of realizing, let's give these people what they wanted via the mandate that they gave Trump when they put Trump in office. That's their way of going, yeah, but I'm still going to do what I want. I'll throw you a little crumb out there, not giving you the whole crumb, not giving you the whole chicken wing, just a little bit of the crust. That's bullcrap. None of them have any justification why these items have to stay on the NFA. Nobody can tell you, and nobody has openly stated or specified why the Short Act should not also be included in this big, beautiful bill. Nobody has. Not a single person has. That tells you that ego is what's at play here. That tells you that that's their way of saying we're going to get the last laugh. You know what? Along the way, if we get a little bit like suppressors taken off here, the National Firearms Act, great. But it still pisses me off that these people are that defiant to make sure that they let us know we're not going to give you all. It's like a parent who is not a good parent. In other words, they haven't matured. They haven't grown up yet. And when their child needs or wants something, they don't want to give it to them because they want to show them who's really boss. That's what these people are doing. Now, on the flip side of that, sometimes we can use their egos to our advantage. Here's how. In this particular case, Congressman Clyde has been the tip of the freaking spear regarding removing suppressors and the Hearing Protection Act, right? He's been the man. He's been very vocal about it too. He's not just one of these guys providing lip service behind the scenes. This dude has been on fire as far as being in the media and speaking in committee about his support for both the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act. I think what we need to do is contact the leaders of the House and our members of Congress also. If you have a Republican member of Congress that you think might be a little squishy on how they're going to vote, contact them. But I think the leaders of the party need to be spoken to more than anything right now. That's, of course, Speaker Mike Johnson, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Those guys have to be pushed also and use the ego to your advantage now. In other words, why can't you be more like Congressman Clyde? And I'm serious here. There's obviously polite ways to deliver that message, but as long as we deliver it to them and they realize, wow, these people really look up to Congressman Clyde. What's Clyde doing that we're not doing? Clyde's fighting for suppressors and short barrel rifles to be taken off the NFA. At some point, they may look to get some brownie points in their own districts over this. And maybe, just maybe, being the leaders of the party, maybe they convince somebody else. Hey, this is kind of a good thing here. I mean, we got Don Jr. in our corner right now, and Trump has said, "Get it to my desk, and I will sign it." So they don't have Trump working behind the scenes, trying to dismantle all of these efforts and say, "Oh no, I can't support that." No, Trump has said, "Get it to me, and I'll sign it." So they don't have a reason. There's no legitimate reason. Again, I go back to the whole ego thing. It's got to be ego at this point that they don't want to give us everything because they're still butthurt that we blew their phones up and their emails up last week. Doesn't mean we should stop. I think we keep the pressure on. I think we have the momentum on our side, and it's up to us to push these people and let them know loud and clear there's a massive voting block out there that you guys are turning your back on. And we're not going to be okay with just the Hearing Protection Act. We need the SHORT Act also. In fact, ask them, can you tell me why the SHORT Act shouldn't be made law? Can you explain that to me? Because they can't. None of them can. Ask them to explain. Ask them in your letter to them or your phone call to them to explain. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to post down the description down below because this is super helpful, I believe. I'm going to post a very loose script of how you should word your email or your phone conversation when you call them. I'm also going to list the phone numbers of these people for you to call. And the reason for the script is, I know a lot of times, and you people reach out to me and tell me this a lot, and I appreciate the feedback. You tell me, okay, we want to help, but first of all, we don't know who to contact. I'm going to give you the numbers and the names. And you don't know, again, I use the phrase, how the sausage is made. We're going to give you that script in the description down below so that you can loosely follow that. That's how you use the right wording. Because you guys have told me before, I want to call, but I don't want to sound stupid and I don't know the right wording to use. We're going to give you that wording. That's going to be in the description down below. Use that, add to it, take from it, however you are comfortable communicating that message. As long as the message is sent, it's going to be effective and it's going to be heard. We want to do, and I think it's our job to do, we want to do everything we can to make this process of communicating with these, I can't call them leaders. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't call them leaders. These politicians who represent the Republican Party and give us our only hope of passing these bills. I think it's important that we give them everything they need from a communication standpoint to do what they need to do. And you know what? Hey, let's face it. These people are not gun guys. They don't know how to talk the talk regarding guns. Maybe if they hear it from enough of us in the same way, the same verbiage, the same wording, that they can start talking the talk when they're talking to other people in their own party who don't know anything about guns but need to know what we're thinking and how we're feeling regarding these things needing to be included in this big, beautiful bill. Let's face it, guys. If we don't include the Hearing Protection Act and the SHORT Act, this ain't a big, beautiful bill. It's just a big bill.